I am here now to help you see that home is a possibility for you. And what I represent is the possibility for you to get home. But without the possibilities, you might not. And I just had to be that honest. When I said that, then some more life was rallied around her, because then that was an end. And, we stopped going in 20. And every so often, that scene will come into my psyche, and I'll be standing there at the whiteboard, and he's standing in front of me, and he's asking me that question, and the question keeps on asking itself over and over again. Can you get me home? Nope, I help get you home. But all I could offer him were the possibility that home was possible. And I had evidence. I feel the Holy Ghost now. I had evidence that it was possible, because I already had some lifers who had been with me a long time, and they was home. Here go one. And so I could say to him, you know what I mean? I feel something now. When I started talking to you, I was one, but now I'm two. Now I know. And I'm just going to tell you this. I knew I was telling him the truth, right? Because I had already done what he was asking me.
Right.
And they was with me on Tuesday night, just like y'all sitting here right now.
Right.
But man, Terrence, it just did something to my being. It was all up in there. And he's a little North Side boy. And I say this, and I just want to open it up. Anybody can take it from there. Crime really doesn't pay. Let me tell you why I'm saying that. Does anybody hear me here? So if you take his thing, he just shot into a crowd. But I'm gonna some of y'all in here who committed a robbery, took something from somebody. If you could take the amount of years and do the math on how much you took versus how much time you did, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you'll realize, just, technically speaking, it just doesn't pay off.
Right.
And my final comment is this. And for the urban culture, somehow we have been sold and stereotyped a script that says, this is how you must proceed in your young life, your young adult life. This is how you get your money. This is how you get paid. And we don't really this is me, I don't think we make enough about the whole idea that crime didn't pay. Here's Lonnie right here, graduated from college. I was at his graduation. He graduated from college in the penitentiary. He graduated with honors. His attendance was perfect. He mentored so many other people, they had to give him an award for how many mentorship hours he put in there. Now look, this is what I'm asking Moses. Was that always in him, or did prison birth it? Mm-hmm. And so, see, prison, all that did was took like a diamond, pressed down, shaken together, run it over, brought the thing that was already there to life. And I'm just suggesting we don't have to go to prison for that thing to take place.
Right.
But we don't, that's a message we don't speak loud enough. Because it seemed like to me, the young people buying the other analysis that makes us seem like thugs and, I'm up here last night Y'all with it? Just last night. At Pop One. I'm gonna stop when I tell you this. So I had to put one brother out, and he just clowned, He knew he was wrong, but he couldn't find his phone charger, and he kept on going on about his phone charger. And I was like, brother, we don't have the phone charger. You got to go, man. That was the day before. Then later on that night, he came back to the house with a crew. Right? They all out in front of the house. We're the only African-American transitional house in the system, period. There is no other. This Negro is in front of the house with a crew. Wait, it wasn't his phone charger. Now that was what he could say. What it was is I represented his parents, who he didn't have. And his parents died. I know this because I had him in prison. His parents passed, his mama passed while he was locked up. He couldn't get it together, but it represented that authority. And he has the traumatic, the trauma where his parents are concerned. I represent the parental authority. And so all that pain unresolved, all of that becomes my pain. You get it? So man, I'm driving over there, man. I'm driving over there and he's out there in the truck and I drive up on him and I'm like, man, what are you doing out here? I don't even know who the other people is. I just addressed him. I said, what are you doing out here? Right. And I said a little bit of what I just said to you. And he said, Pop, I just want my charger. I said, boy, they selling chargers right over here at the Walgreens. That's not what you want. Mm-hmm. What you want is another chance. And I can't give it to you here. I'm just telling you the truth. This was last night. Right. I can't give it to you here. You had your chance here and you blew it, son. I say it just like that. And now his guys is listening at this conversation, right? So I said, man, y'all got to clear out of here, man. And so and let me tell you what he said as we closed the conversation. He said, excuse me. This is what he said. He said, Pop, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Pop. And I appreciate anything that you've ever done for me. And he wasn't really talking to me, but to them other parents who he didn't get no chance to talk to. But then it dawned on him, he was sober then, I got to do this. I can do better. And for that little minute, then he did better with it. Right? That goes to the word in the reading, which was intent. Mm-hmm. He intended some crazy stuff because he's hurt. Anybody in here ever been hurt? Oh yeah. But when we talk man to man, look, then it dawned on him that's not my true intention. I said that, I stuck that in because I'm taking you back to the reading. Anybody that didn't read the reading, well, I want to thank you just for listening to me right there. But we had responded earlier to what y'all had seen, right? And then when I came through there, I just had to get them on. You know what I mean? So anyway, somebody else jump in. Question, comment, anything.
Well, sometimes
they're so damaged.
But no, person. It clicks that you say, okay, yeah, now we get ready. What is a child? Act as a child. Yeah. But when you this is kind of where you're at. It's like even the people who are asking, making requests of you, need to be put on notice. They're not asking that guy, but they're asking this guy. And the new guy has priorities, and you're gonna have to learn. This the other person gonna have to learn that in order to get the new guy to act, you got to go through a certain process, and all that is doing is bringing order and some form of control, self-control to your life. You get it? So give him some love for that. So we got some guests, and I know they dying to get in.
I need to add something.
I know they're dying to get in. You know what I mean?
Because this is like perfect timing.
Right? See what I'm saying? Please allow me to interpret the timing, but it's okay. It's okay. And I'm gonna let our sister go. We hadn't seen her in a while. And I want to get everybody else involved here because everybody else right here is kind of, now we got in this group spirit. This is where liberation happens, when the spirit is like this. The fire is hot, bam, and you can strike it and it can find its destination. So go ahead.
Okay, so I love that. I love how you put that. I love how you both put that together. I'm a trauma therapist, and that's what I do. And what I teach my clients and what you're talking about, we're talking about the same things that just have different words to describe it. So what you're talking about is trauma. You're talking about it too. So that person that you used to be is still in there. You'll come back in a heartbeat. And it can be a child part, it could be a teen part, and then you have your adult part. Today you're saying, I'm trying to be this adult. I'm trying to match my words with my actions. I'm trying to hold myself accountable. I'm trying to be the man that I'm trying to be today. Who I was is around the corner. And if you let your guard down, that part of you can just come right back. Like you said, when you come out of prison, you come back into your old hood, you come back into the same family, and it's almost natural for you to go back into the same patterns. And what you learn in prison through groups and different things, if you take that opportunity, is that you learn how you can be that adult. Because most of the time, things that cause you to get to prison is that teen part or that child part, right? You're thinking impulsively, which is more of a teenager, being irrational, impulsive, just going with the flow, not really thinking about the consequences or where this is going to take you. Is it worth the price that I might have to pay? And then that child part, like Doug was talking about, is that part that just wants to please other people. You know, how can I fit into this group? So because I want to fit into this group, I'm gonna be like that child part that just and I'm gonna take care of that child part and that teen part because we all have, you know, it's explained like you hang out with, let's say you have 2 kids, you hang around them, all of a sudden you're talking more like them, you want to do things like them.
Somebody said the vaccine. Well, speaking of the vaccine, we're right now.
So I feel like my intent was always good growing up. I feel like I just wanted to have what everybody else wanted to have. I feel like I feel like I wanted to be able to keep myself and myself. But what I learned, what I'm learning, even more rapid basis, that like your intent on nothing is always about your impact. How you impact your how I myself. Right. You know, in the past I was the best of myself. I impacted myself in such a way to where I spent many years incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? My juvenile life, my adolescent life, my life. So how much I'm gonna really think of what I do, what I do. Like really think about how like I don't have that conscientious spirit to where like I really care. But if I do care, then I really care. Sometimes I care a little bit. Like if I love you, like I really like it's that. But then if I don't, then it's like I really care. What I'm realizing though is that I can't really tap into the conscious part of me as well as I want to. But I can't tap into not what's impacted in a negative way. Like going to prison. Yes, sir. Spending all day. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. I can tap into that. I'm like,
come on, somebody do some tapping. Some tapping. That's what I get. So I love what last, I love what last. Because last, people who know last, last upbringing was rough. Without parents, and how do we keep this struggle, which is beautiful, is becoming his own parents. Like if the car analysis. If we utilize that analysis just throughout lives, you remember meeting him when he was a kid. And then you saw him in certain years come into his teenage life. And then now, somebody say now you're kind of seeing him and experiencing him trying to reach, the adult life that's his right, his birthright. It's a hardship, but he's doing it. But he admits that he struggles with some things and needs therapy. The reason why we're bringing up the medical card is because to get seen somewhere, you have to have insurance and all this and that. And so Laz, we're trying to get Laz some help for those missing pieces. But I will add to your analysis of being unconscious about certain feelings. Yet in his writing and his poems, you will hear them full of feelings, full of emotion, full of passion. And this is where that part of you is channeled to. It doesn't seem like it comes out like it may do for other people, but for his artwork and then it comes out fine. So what that means is that the body human can be chaotic, but chaos means that all the pieces are there. They are just in the wrong places. I'm just going to wait for all the amens to die down right there.
Yep.
And then what we're trying to do is to shuffle the pieces and get them put in the right place. The vaccine. Give it the vaccine. Here, take it back. Give my hand for that. That's Lolita Thomas is online, and I appreciate seeing her. And she's been having little Bella and Lolita join each other. Lolita, I'm gonna come to you in a minute. I want to get a couple other guys in here. Come on, go ahead. Introduce yourself.
My name is Eddie Myers. I've been Pop Guy since 2008.
Pop Guy. Bella is on
I have realized at a very young age that we didn't have much. And with that kind of mind state, just kind of being in school, being in the neighborhood, it was kind of it was humbling. Along with that, I had witnessed a lot of negative things in the home, outside the home. Particularly in the home, I witnessed a lot of immense amount of abuse and things of that nature that even to the day I haven't really much spoken. A lot of these things I actually witnessed would not so much happen to me, but what I witnessed.
Mm-hmm.
I would even say that those who were truly affected by it actually kind of sheltered me from it.
Yeah.
But even to this day, I understood their intent then. However, today I still witness those individuals struggle from those.
Mm-hmm.
And that I'm still humbled by.
Yeah.
My intent was really often wanting to get out, wanting to have my own, wanting to do it myself. And in my current mind state then it was I gave such high esteem and credit to adults, whether they were negative adults or positive adults. I gave them that they were what I was doing. So a lot of the things that I did in my life were really to just, my intent was to become a mature and responsible individual. However, the things I learned that was supposed to sure me up as a responsible individual with negative things. I could not tell you that they were negative then, because every corner that I turned, every person that I was involved with, every person that I knew, everything that I saw, it was normalized. So it wasn't until I had an opportunity to see something different, and that difference was really strange. However, something inside me said, "This is what you were really intending to be. This is what you were really intending to be." So my time in the penitentiary gave me opportunity to really sit and analyze things, because now I didn't have a distraction. I wasn't much of a drinker, but I didn't really have a true relationship with drugs or nothing like that. Though I did deal with the devil. However, I was away from all of those things. I was away from all those distractions, being able to sit and analyze those things in that penitentiary. And I can remember when I made that change. It was September 6th, 2096. I was 2 years old. My birthday, September 6th. He was born September 6th, 1989. I remember that day And I talked to him on the telephone, and he asked me when I was going to come home.
Right. This was in 1996. Mm-hmm.
And that was when I'm dating myself.
That's all right, brother.
I'm
Come on.
50 years old. And that was when I realized, like, wow.
When are you coming home?
When,
Mm-hmm.
And that was the moment that everything changed for me.
Wow.
That was when I started reaching for the light. That was when I started to shame myself for all of those wrong things, shame others for all of those wrong things, take responsibility for myself, man up, and walk that walk.
Yeah.
I had done time in Illinois. Illinois prisons is a different beast, a totally different beast. Minnesota, I knew I could just walk this out. So that's what I did. I just told him to walk it out. When, I walked my own walk and didn't have no kind of issues with anybody. So because Minnesota is not like Illinois at all. So, but yeah.
Which for you was great because it allowed you to do like you were saying, is to find yourself.
Exactly.
And just to quickly put on something on top of that, Anna and I have been together, I don't know how long, a lot of years. And I mean, you want to talk about straight down the line, getting it done correctly the whole time, not missing no licks. That's him. I'm gonna grab you right there. Give him some love right there for that. I wrote that down, September 6, 1996. That's the day for him that the question was asked. Questions are very powerful, sometimes more powerful than answers. You get it? Because after the answer comes another question. Right, but the question, when are you coming home? You have to then deal with that in some way. Shelby, I'm gonna quick go over here to you. I'm coming right back here. I want to get everybody in, and then I'm gonna slide Eric in here in a minute. But go ahead, Shelby.
Yeah, my name is Shelby. That's my first name, so everybody can understand. Some of the people that don't know me. This is tough. I went to prison, and it might not seem like a lot to a lot of people, but it's a lot to me. I've spent 8 years in prison, and I went to 4 different prisons in the state of Minnesota. First time in my life I went to prison at the age of 57 years old. Not easy, not at that age. I was close with my immediate family, which is my wife and my siblings, very close. But when I went to prison, we grew apart. My brother, Byron, is 18 months older than me. I'm 65, he's 66. Me and him was very close at one time. But like I said, when I went to prison, we kind of drifted apart. While I was doing my 8-year bit, I didn't hear a word from him or a few other of my siblings through this whole 8 years. Now, my brother recently called me here last week, and he started telling me about he loved me and he missed me and blah, blah, blah. Now, I want to read something here. It says, what you do.
Say what I do. Put I in there where it says you.
I'm sorry. I said absolutely 100% correct. What I do and my intentions doesn't match my words.
Yes, sir.
Well, as my brother was speaking to me, and I didn't hear from him in 8 years, he didn't send me a 2-cent stamp or a 10-cent postcard. And my intentions was to give him the 3rd degree. But what brought me was some stuff I learned from Pops in Power of People and Silent Cry. I had to tell myself, hold up a minute. Your brother did not put you in here. I put me in here. So he really don't owe me anything.
Right.
So that's why I had to make my intentions match my words.
Wow.
And
And,
that's
and
what
what did
I
you say to him?
and I said to him that I love you,
Yeah.
I miss you,
Oh man.
and I don't know why I didn't reach out to him.
Mm-hmm.
He never came back and said, well, it was sort of my fault too. I didn't reach out. I wasn't looking for that, and I didn't hear it anyway. So, but I accept.
Mm-hmm.
Now, also, I learned some things that's very important.
We got to stop right there. One second. When you went to prison later, nobody is trained on how to support you in prison.
Mhm.
I mean, there's no class.
No, it's not.
Wait a minute. Oh, wow. While I just said that to you, a class flashed in my mind saying, this is what you do. This is how you support your family in prison. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it in your voice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because his wife and nobody's like, you went where? What? You doing what? It's foreign language. And so, your brother and all the rest of your family members, it was all foreign to them.
Yeah.
Now, wait a minute. One more thing. But you were hurt because I can still feel the hurt. You were hurt, Shelby, that they didn't reach for you. And at that time, you were unable to consider. They really didn't know the game.
Mm.
But I'm grateful for your brother. What's your brother's name?
Byron.
Byron.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for Byron that he got over his whatever it was. He didn't take the class, but it finally dawned on him. That's my brother. And that y'all made contact, man.
Yeah.
Let's just dap that out.
So I wanted to talk about the steps that I took towards self-correction.
Okay.
When I was telling you this a minute ago, a second ago, that I brought it upon myself to realize through a lot of that training that I got from you in Power of People is I need to look at me, stop looking at others, because this is not what you just said. This is not something for them to really grab a hold of because they really didn't take a class or don't understand it as well as I do. Because I'm in this position, not. So I had to reverse that. Say, what if they were in that position? What would I have done?
Wow.
Probably the same thing. You know what I mean?
Could be.
So, and what dawned on me is when I was in AA and NA in Faribault, is they always talk about the separate things that you cannot change and the courage to know the difference. And all that came together for me. It did. Came together for me. So I just wanted to get that out that the past is the past. Now here it is. I got another opportunity in life for me and my brother to start connecting.
Absolutely.
Even though
I
can't look at it, I got to look at it now.
No.
What I'm going to do with now. What I'm going to do with the relationship that I have with my brother.
Right.
And then not only that, this morning I get a strange call, which kind of blew my mind. It was my older sister. She said, yeah, Byron told me he talked to you.
Wow.
And I go, uh-oh.
Yeah.
See, this thing is starting to progress, and the family are starting to come back towards me.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Now, I do want to say this, important. My oldest son and my wife have been with me for over 20 years, stuck with me every minute of my incarceration. I mean, she visited me every opportunity she had. We talked on the phone every time. She never turned her back on me. She supported me because I made it through her. I don't know how I did it, but without her support, I don't even know if I was me.
Come on, Doc.
I'm just honest.
Come on, Doc.
If it wasn't for her, I don't know if I would have made it.
Yes, sir.
I think if it wasn't for her, this
What's
is the
her
way I
name?
feel.
What's her name?
Her name is Thelma.
Thelma, give
Yeah.
come on.
I really think if it wasn't for Thelma, I'd probably still be in there.
Woo, brother.
So I just had to say that because, and once again, my intentions really didn't match my words. And this is super important as far as me, because what I wanted to say to my brother would have made it worse than what it was. So I'm glad I was able
If you
to,
would have been in your feelings.
yeah.
Yeah.
This
Wow.
is
Give him some more love. That's love. Yeah, we could roll with that one. And I got a couple more fellas that hadn't said anything. I want to get everybody in. I'm gonna take this minute though to introduce Eric right here. That's Eric?
Eddie.
Eddie, I'm sorry. Yeah, Eddie, we talked a while back. It's been a while now. And he was talking to me about a project that he was working on. And I was telling him about who we are a little bit. To just pop in one time to the group and experience it, and then see how he felt about it. And so why don't you present to the group what you had shared with me when we talked on the phone?
Yeah.
And you can say a little bit about yourself too.
Okay. First, thank you everyone for letting me join you today. This is a great group. So I am actually a software engineer. I do programming, I do coding. I make apps for phones and the internet and stuff like that. And as some of you might already know, the industry where people write code is not very diverse.
Right.
There especially aren't very many people that have, done time in prison and whatnot. So I am really motivated to try to change that, bring more diverse people into the industry. There are, I recognize there's a lot of different barriers, but having been in the industry, a lot of times the people that have spent the most time there are just people that had a computer in their home when they were like in middle school, and they just, play with it, and they have that opportunity to just sit in front of their computer for, hours and hours, and make it a career.
Right.
I had no interest in computers when I was a kid. When I was in middle school, if you weren't talking to me about basketball, I wasn't talking to you. When I was like 28, I started programming, and like 2 years later, I was able to have a full-time job in it. And I never got, a degree specifically in programming. I never got a certification specifically in programming. So there's just a lot of opportunity for a lot of people to enter that field. Frankly, there's a lot of money to be made in the tech world. There's a lot of different jobs in the tech world. So you definitely don't have to be an engineer if you have more of like an artistic interest and more of just like an entrepreneur and business interest. There's a lot of things you can do in technology. And I just want to remove more barriers. I've been talking to like other people in the Twin Cities who are kind of in similar places. Like Tech Dump is kind of an interesting related organization. And I don't have like a nonprofit organization yet for this. I don't have like a formal business for this yet, because frankly, I just wanted to meet people first who would be interested. And then this idea, since I've been in contact with folks like in all these different nonprofits and stuff, it's not easy for me to get that stuff together. But the more important part for me is like, who is the audience, who are the participants that want to, open up this new career path for themselves, for their family, for their community. So that's why I'm here, to meet everyone. And like I said, like this is still pretty informal. I don't have like business cards or anything like that, just because I'm more like a face-to-face type of person, and this is early in this like development. So if anyone's interested, we can stay in touch, pass my information around if you got friends. Yeah. And honestly, like I'd love this to be like, everyone that comes out of jail, everyone that comes out of lockup, knows that this is an opportunity.
So let me hold you up right there. Now, what we could do, this is I'm speculating and I'm brainstorming. What we could do, we actually have, in certain prisons, tech is powerfully taught. And we have several guys. We have a small group tonight. Normally this room is packed out. And some of those guys are already pretty bad. Will and, some Ananias pretty good, and some of these guys are really all teched up. We could create the pipeline for those people who are trained, right, or on the inside, and then run them through to this right here. They coming in hot, and then relevant to a nonprofit. That would be the structure we would need to have in order to kind of put that together. We could do a partnership or whatever, but I think we have the credibility with folks inside to where we could cause that to take place. I just want you to think about that. But before we take questions, it's Eddie. I think he was a lawyer first.
Yeah, that's right.
When he was an attorney. And he put that down. He put that down.
Yeah.
Say put it down. Say it louder than that.
Put it down.
No, he found this thing and put that down.
Right.
So I'm just trying to give you a snapshot of whatever that is he found has to be.
It is.
Okay. So now go ahead with your question.
So what are the hiring practices around your industry? Because we think felon friendly aren't always all felon friendly. So when we think about starting something like this, we have to think about some of us, including me, have editorial principles, which, include a long list of things, but they are an exclusion to a lot of places that we can't get to. And there's no instrument that measures the changes in the head and the heart. But we have these laws and practice, DHS background study policies that keep us from meaningful, gainful employment, which is proven to cut down on recidivism. So there's these barriers in place where they protect industry staying, and if it's not inclusive, is there anybody lobbying around making changes?
Well, you way out there, man. But that was a
It's a good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
you way out there. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you try to respond to it.
Yeah. So I think that the short answer is it's not 100% free and clear, I don't think, but I think it would be easier than in a lot of other industries. Mostly because the need is so great. I mean, like, for example, I literally get some stranger emailing me like every week, like, will you please think about working in this other place? And I'm not special. It's just because there's just such a high need for it. So, at work, it doesn't matter if anyone has a college degree. It doesn't matter if anyone has certifications in this world. Another key component of it is working in software is so flexible. I work from home every day at my house. So I think there's a lot of concerns around, criminal background that could be evaded if a person is literally working at home by themselves. There's a lot of opportunities for contract work. A person can very easily make a career out of a contract work. Yes, exactly. If you want to be a full-time employee of a big company like Microsoft, I'm sure they have a background check that could get messy. But if you want to do, contract work, that means a company says we need some work done. You say, I'll do it for $100 an hour. And they're like, great. You're never an official employee of them, so they don't need a background check.
And that's what's happening right now all over. People are actually in the United States right now in their home talking to people in Tokyo, other countries as a contractor.
Yeah.
3 months I'm working, I'm making $400 a day. I'm making about 80 to 100 grand a year. And so I'm going into AWS file. And so I think middle of next month, me and my lady, we're both going to enter this class. Probably go for a cloud engineer in the beginning, and then work our way up to a higher position.
Right.
But that's easily $80 a year. And the great thing about it is we're being taught by someone who's working at Google. And he's teaching us, what does it mean to learn information, how to apply it. And this is how you shape your resume. That's how you do all of this. And he's going to help us, pretty much get prepared for the certification. The certification is most likely any place to hire us, either for contract or for a permanent role.
So good. So this kind of this is shaping up. You see what I mean? Where the possibilities could be You get it, for all of this and all of that. We could go on with this conversation. I'm gonna pause it. You get it? But I just wanted you to kind of get to know us, and we could kind of get to know you. I really appreciate you. He reached out to me, and so we're open and stuff like this here. I want you to hold that question. I'm gonna show you how to get back to where we were, which is also important. But let me show you something. What we're really talking about is software and how we got our hardware and the added software that we had inside of us to create this new guy, this different person that went to the penitentiary. This it's the same dynamic. Is in what software what upgrades did we apply to get Sherrod right here? Sherrod is an entrepreneur and making t-shirts and opened up a barber shop, and it looked like it was a nice place too. And what got applied to you to cause you to become this guy versus the guy that you were? And that's, you can take that or the reading as you, did you say that? So Sherrod, jump in.
I don't know. I think first, I'm kind of tired. I'm going to turn around from Chicago, going down there.
You made it. Give him a hand.
Yeah, I mean, but words definitely out. People, I'm making it because I was in the store up here before I left to go to Chicago, and I'm standing in line at Family Dollar, and I'm standing in line, and my girlfriend is standing like in front of me. Asking somebody a question in the back, employee. So she say, how many people saying with cash credit cards? Of course, everybody raised their hand. You ain't always think.
Yeah.
So she come out the line, next girl that she opened up a register. So she said, I can hear you. So she stepped from behind the register, stepped behind me, not even knowing that my girlfriend was stuff. So when she stepped behind me, I turned around and I looked, and she had so much stuff in her pocket. I just looked down at her pocket. And so the female that was down there, I guess she gave it up. And she's like, creep. Look behind me, like you.
Yeah, right.
Say, who is you talking to? And I just went in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not even knowing that my girl was standing right here. And I felt so bad about it that I went back up there, and that's not me. And I went back up there looking for it, and she wasn't there. So I took one of the cards they had up there, one card, put in the envelope, told the girl, could you give it to the girl that had altercation with her? Yeah. So the day on my way here, coming from the barber shop, I stopped up at Family Dollar, and she was coming out locking the door. Right. And she was smiling. We were like embracing each other. I told her that's not even me. Wow. You know what I'm saying? But the point of that is my situation, my case. Right. You saying it to me triggered that. Yeah, right. Because that's not my normal action. Yeah, right. But when you said that to me, and me knowing that I was in jail, that I didn't do it. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? It triggered. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? And back to your point is, I mean, part from that point, being in jail, due to whatever situation, I feel like I want to sit there with you. Yeah. Every day I get up, y'all not just gonna take my time and I can come home and say, yeah, that's right. I'm gonna take the time and I'm gonna utilize everything that I need to get. And when I came home, that's exactly what I did. So that's so powerful. So Curtis right here came up with an idea for a t-shirt. I want to make it. This is the idea. Yeah. Man, O'Shea, give O'Shea a hand, boy. Come on in, man. Come on in and have a little seat, man. Yeah, this is O'Shea Israel right here. This is one of the original pop guys from the very first class we ever had in prison.
That's how I learned about pop.
05. He was in the class in 05. Give him some more love right there.
Look at him. Wow, good to see you. Yeah. So, let me jump back. I'm gonna come to you. So I like what you were saying. Oh, this is Curtis's idea for a shirt, but I'm with it. And so we're gonna have every pop guy image on somewhere on the shirt, and then maybe the POP, our little logo in the middle right here. The logo somewhere, you see it? Okay. Yeah. That logo in the middle. Then every guy all over the back, all of the long sleeve, that. Can you do it? Okay. So then what we're gonna have to do is a photo shoot, because you gotta tell me how to get the photo so it's clear enough, but small enough. I can do that. You can do it? Give him a hand. That boy said I can. Yeah. I love, let me tell you, I love that because we're coming up on, we done passed the 15-year mark, but, just as what's starting to happen, which, I had no vision for this, but was the Father's Day celebration. We decided, some of the pop guys decided we were going to meet on Father's Day. And they picked out a beautiful location at one of the state parks. We all came out. It was about 75 of us or something like that. Men, wives, girlfriends, children, and grandchildren. It dawns on me, O'Shea, that I'm up here having this impact on the grandchildren of pop guys. Now, I didn't see that, brother. I didn't see that when we started the first class. But now the thing was looking back at me. At one time, I was looking at the thing. But now the thing was looking back at me, and these little kids were running up to me saying, "Hey, Pop!" I'm like, "Yo, son, yes, Pop, what's up? What's up?" I'm like, dang. So I just wanted to create this generational shirt that had as many of us as possible on the shirt. And that's where the idea came from. So we can figure it out and figure out what the dynamics are. So, it's one for everybody and this and that. Freeman right here. This is Freeman's second group. Freeman had just been home for a short time. Freeman, you done heard all of, hey, Prince, what's going on, man? Come on, give Prince a hand. Come on. Right there. Look, Bernard Prince has not been here in at least 2 years. Last week, Carl Luton walks in. He ain't been here in 3 years, but they know Tuesday at this time. What's happening? What's happening? Yeah, that's powerful. Come on, man, give Prince another hand, man.
I have to park in the middle of the street.
Oh, okay. Well, you can't stay there because you're gonna go out. They're gonna take your car.
I'll flush them on the DoorDash thing on top of my hands.
That'll give you about 10 minutes. But after that,
enough time to drop it off.
Right. Yeah, that's otherwise you get the north side treatment. Freeman, you've been hearing the conversation, and I just want you to chime into it in any way that you feel you want to.
I grew up, in a vicinity where I was very shy. I won't say anything to nobody because I wanted to make everybody to feel good. I didn't want to say something and they ain't going to backfire. So I became very, very, very quiet from the time I was a little boy, even in school. The only thing I would say to you in school, how are you doing? Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah. Or if you ask me for my name, I will tell you. And after that conversation, I'm looking this way, right on that blackboard. I'm not looking left. I'm not looking right. I'm not looking anywhere. That's how I grew up. Wow. Yeah, sit in that place. Then after I grew up.
You in Monrovia at this time?
Yeah, Monrovia.
And people who know me, they know that. That I don't say much because I was afraid to say something, then it offend you. So the best thing, just stay in your lane. And when I'm looking in this lane, this is where I'm going. If you come this way, I'll stop. Like if I woke up from this chair and this guy just walking and sat in this chair, even now, I won't even say a word to him. Or I just lean against this wall. They didn't have to see. If my book was in this seat and he took it up, I let him sit there. I just go and sit on the wall and just listen to everybody. And so, looking at reading this stuff, if my word does not match my intent, what do I do? I said this. Words, like you mentioned, are very powerful, and we have to be very careful how we alter them. Because people interpret words differently. I may say something and you understand it different from how he going to understand it. But I learned from being in prison that we do things a lot because we don't know the kind of words to say to match our intent. So we try to follow suit. So we come to people because we don't have that wordings.
Wow.
To always stand and speak for us. So it doesn't matter whether this man is wrong, but once somebody can speak for me and can write my letters and do other things, whatever he does, I still stand by him. So for me, when it comes to where I say something and somebody interpret it differently, they try to criticize what I say, I have learned over the years to accept criticism in a positive way. Because as a good winner, you got to be a good loser. So if I say something to you and you try to say something contrary from what I just mentioned, what I learned is to hold back, taking a deep breath before I respond to what you just said. That way, you can really understand because there is a reason why this person is coming after what you said. Because if you just, from the person saying, you go up there to say something, you will say something, and then you have to swallow your own words. So I learned to just pull back a little bit, bend my head down a little bit, and think about what the person just said, and be able to respond. And then when that happens, I'm quick to apologize for my wrong because my words did not. The thing I want to say is not what actually I said. This is not my intention. So I will fall back and tell you, say, look, guys, this is this. This is not what really I wanted to say. But because you questioned what I said, then I got another insight from what you mentioned. Then I compare what I said and what you are saying. Then I quick to realize that, oh, this is not what I really want to say. And sometimes it's difficult when you are saying something that does not match your intent to really catch over time until somebody speaks of it.
That's good. That's good. Give him a little hand right there. I want to catch something right there. See if you can. I know you're getting tired. We're almost done. But see if you can catch this. That's something that he shared right there. First of all, just the cultural piece that he talked about growing up in Liberia and in school, and this is how he conducted himself in school. And just I always want to share with you, having traveled to Africa twice, I envy the hunger that African students have for academics. I envy it because the young people are hungry to learn. And what they know is, if I want to get out of here, I have to compete at a high level, and they understand that. Having said that, though, what struck me about what Freeman just said was his definition of criticism and how he talked about criticism. And I want everybody in here to understand, and we used to teach this in class, there is a difference between feedback. Somebody say feedback.
Feedback.
And criticism.
Criticism.
Say criticism.
Criticism.
Now, the difference between feedback and criticism is in the intent, right? If you look at intent, that's what we're talking about. Criticism will often have an ego-based intent behind it. That's good teaching right there.
All right.
But watch this, where feedback, it lacks the ego piece, you know, and it's just trying to, you know, assist you in becoming clearer about your own point, whatever that was. But I want you to realize it's even in your family. And my sister, I want you to catch this. Sometimes what you're getting is feedback. But if your heart is soft there, you can interpret it as criticism. You interpret criticism as criticism. You interpret feedback as criticism, right? Now that's in your hearing. Somebody say hearing.
Hearing.
Yeah. I just want to quote some scripture right there. Man is not by the hearing. I can't call it. I can't bring it to, right, the renewing of your mind, exactly. And I just want you to hear this really importantly, with your relationships, with the relationship with your brother. You know, what feedback is what you want to give. And how do you give that? Sometimes it's asking a question versus making a statement. Or sometimes it's making a statement that is made in a loving way, right? And the person has got to be able to grow past, here's the three people in the car, the adolescent doesn't accept feedback or criticism. Because they hear that automatically. And sometimes it's your own hearing that has to come up another notch. I'm teaching good tonight, though, to come up another notch to be able to appreciate feedback for what it is and not take it as criticism. Criticism will always come from an ego-based place, right? So be careful how if you're quick to say something to your family members, make sure that it's not from your trauma place, but it's from this loving place. And that changes it between feedback and criticism. Does that make any sense?
Yes, it does.
But go ahead.
And criticism will always have an element, you know what I'm saying, of some type of condemnation.
You gotta go. All right, 1 minute.
Some type of condemnation, you know, and that's how it'll be interpreted.
That's right.
Condescending.
Condescending.
It always have a condescending element in it. But as you say, in feedback, you find the best way, you know, to relate the message, you know, or the intent.
Right.
And it doesn't have a condescending element.
That's excellent, Curtis. That's excellent. Esau got to go to work, and I don't want to let him get out of here without having getting some feedback in there. So can you give us a holler?
Oh yeah. I was thinking.
Everybody in here that I can see right now is vaccinated, except
Well, I haven't said that.
yeah. So and Mr. Freeman is going to be back.
No.
Yo, give Mr. Freeman a hand.
2 weeks ago, I got a cold,
Right.
and I'm still getting over it. And I went to the hospital, the doctors, and they say what they say, and it's like it's a cold. There's no cure for it because there's 100 different types, and we can't vaccinate 100 different types of cold. So just take Tylenol, you know how to flu and all that.
Right.
So I'm just not getting over it. But it's such a bad cold.
Right.
I don't want to give it to nobody.
Right.
Even though it should be gone.
Right.
Anyway,
No, you're right though. 'Cause
It's horrible.
It's right though, because it seems like the cold now has gotten stronger, and then right away we want to run and say, "Wait a minute, do the test." Last week we passed out again our COVID test to everybody. If you got a negative result, come back and holler at me. I know Shelby, you did, and this and that. That's why we gave them to you, because we want to stay vigilant about that. Go ahead.
I took the saliva test, came back negative. Went to the hospital 2 days later, did the nasal test, came back negative.
Amen.
The nurse said, if you got a vaccination, it is not COVID. It's something else.
There you go, son.
And
That's right.
it was like, it's a cold. I'm like, this is the worst cold I ever had in my life. And I was like, because we wearing these masks so long, we ain't used to fighting off all these little things.
That's good, man.
And so anyway, my intention growing up was always to do good, or to perception was to do good, but my behavior was always bad. And I'm in the conflict, like I didn't mean to inflict harm. Although I did steal your car, I didn't mean to cause damage to your car, or to inconvenience you, or to mess up your life. I was having fun because I intended to have a good time with your car.
Yeah, right.
Sorry that I broke it and crashed it, etc. But my intentions was to bring it back the way I found it, even though I stole it. So my thinking, my reasoning was based on a fantasy that I intend to do good no matter what, but my behavior was, I am one of the baddest kids in Minneapolis.
Right. That was excellent.
So when I went to prison, I went to jail at 16 and went to prison at 17. And, I was a pretty good sized kid. They was like, oh, we're just gonna put you in the juvenile thing. I was like, no, man, put me with everybody else. I take care of myself. And,
and they listened.
They listened. They was like, okay, we ain't got a problem. We really don't care. So I surrounded myself with the same type of thinkers, the same type of people whose intentions were to do what they wanted when they wanted, and the result was what it was. And so my thinking and my behavior continued that way until I was about 21 years old inside the prison. So when I was 21, life started to become global. I was looking outside my selfishness, my self-centeredness, my way of the highway thinking, and took a look at what I really was putting out there and how people view. And so that's by 2001 that I met Shane, about 2006 at Atlanta Lakes. And now I was getting taught my words, my actions, my habits, my behavior, they all pattern of goodwill, good intentions, humility, putting others before myself. All these things I kind of knew because Grayson was raised in prison. I kind of knew, but never applied to my daily activities in my life. And start separating myself. Well, those behaviors, start separating myself from people who still wanted to do the same negativities and etc. And so when I run into people from my past and they say, hey, what's up? I was like, what's up? They see the change and they no longer gravitate because the energy is different, the behaviors are different. And I just don't do those things no more. Weed, alcohol, drugs,
that's it.
Crimes. My persona, my behavior is to represent global or community that I am the change that I've been kind of always been.
That's right.
It's just I needed those elements to go right in the right places at the right time. So I have the confidence to continue to put on good behavior, and not be looked at as, weak, whatever, square. So that's kind of how I got to.
Oh man, come on, give man. So good, boy. That was so rich. That was so rich. Now, hey, when are you going to graduate? Now you've been in college
I'm still home in the film industry. I don't know if the school. I haven't contacted the school if they're going to do a mandatory COVID vaccination to attend fully, or they still splitting it.
Right.
And so I kind of been holding off because
Right.
I'm lacking in the education of what I'm getting over line. It's just not tangible.
No, that's
And I told the professor, she was like, I agree, I'm fighting, I'm trying to get us here every week.
right.
But right now, we're at 50%, like
Right.
half online, half at the school.
Mm-hmm.
I said, bro, that's not worth it. I need to be at the school full time.
Mm-hmm.
Because we on software, the editing software, it's like you will lose like software, you lose the practice if you're not practicing it, especially the editing. If you're not practicing it, you lose it. Like, how do I switch this file? How do I say this? How do I download?
Yeah, right.
Because it's a complicated system, but once you got the rhythm,
Mm-hmm.
it's easy.
That's good,
And we're
son.
lacking in
That's
that.
good. Yeah.
Real quick, if anybody remembers Wanderlust Productions, they are adding again the play production. And so if anybody's interested in being part of that play production, they're acting in it or anything.
Wait, what happened to the last production?
What else?
So licensed as a voter, but
I saw TV on the local network.
Okay.
and then Cooper said that he's pretty much gathering guys of people who want to get involved, and they are starting to reverse it.
Okay.
So people who want to get involved, they get involved.
So yeah, just come see me.
So would you, or can you just post it? Send it in the email?
They can do that too.
All right. Now, look here, Prince. I want to get Prince in before it's double park. Wait a minute, but before you go, but see what Esau is saying, and then I think what you should do is write a letter to whoever is your counselor, and say, I appreciate this opportunity, and it's all been so great. I'm really struggling with this whole idea of online learning where film is concerned, and you would be surprised how far a written letter goes to help make an argument in another conversation that you're not in, but your writing that letter could, promote that argument. And I think it's very important. But Esau is close to graduation, and give him some love. He's also close to getting married. Now he's married in this next month.
You're 14, right? Yeah.
14, 21. Tierra is married on the 9th. And so we're having an explosion of
A lot of broom jumping.
And it's a beautiful thing. Sherman, I got to get you in quick, and then I'm going to go ahead. Give Esau some love. Have a good night. Prince, Prince, real quick, I'm gonna pop you in here. You hear what we're talking about. And I just don't want you to get messed up. So what you got? How many jobs you got, Prince? He's a Jamaican. Hey, man, you got too many jobs. But him working 6 or 7 jobs, No, really, he got a lot of jobs, man. He always had them. Prince, I think you're off parole now, right? You're off parole. Okay. And been doing your boat.
Yeah.
But, so Prince, it's good to see your face, man. It's also important for me to know, Tuesday night is going down.
I'm gonna call up Monday and sneak up there. I had called off today, but I didn't go there. But anyway, because after tomorrow, I don't know when I'll be back to see if there's a house in Buffalo. So be up there for a while.
So we even migrating to Buffalo now. See there, you can't keep us out, boy. We coming. You was looking at one in Buffalo. Oh my Lord! Oh, it's cheaper. Yeah, well, is that you got a big house? Ooh, give him a hand. Give him a hand. Got it down low in Buffalo. That's beautiful. But I got to get Sherman in here real quick. Sherman the barber. I got to get Chris Curtis here. So we're gonna put a barber chair. I think we're gonna put a barber chair in here, right? So we'll put it in the storeroom, and then on Tuesday we give Chris a little group time, and then try to put him back to work, man. You know, so we can stay fresh. Go ahead.
One thing I got is everybody, pretty much everybody that said something today was like what I wanted to say. So same stuff. My intent, you know, despite how I got there, is coming to pass of my life. Right, I had to go through the struggle to get to this place. Well, I went through the struggle. And my daughter being sarcastic, lets me know that my intent was there because she was like, yeah. She had a little attitude with her words. Can't really get out what's really bothering her because she's hurting. But so she's just lashing out, just saying any kind of stuff. One of the things she's like, well, I'll just let you go ahead with your merry old life.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I was like, yeah, you calling my life merry. That's
That's
really
it.
good.
That's it.
That's what I've been working for.
That's it.
You know?
That's it.
So,
right.
So basically, something I want to write down there. Yeah, so my thing is, you know, like what she was saying is just with those validating the little boy and the teenager and myself.
Right.
And you know, and that teenager is always trying to take the wheel.
Right.
He want to drive so bad. And that's what you mean by so easy that you can just go back. Because he want to drive. He begging me like we beg our daddy and our parents, hey, let me drive. He's always trying to do something. Right. Which also throws me off a little bit when it comes down to, you know, one of the things they want us to do is make amends where we can. You know, unless it's going to hurt somebody or ourselves. So I'd be like, well, who's trying to make amends? When I try to make amends, when I think about making amends, all of a sudden teenagers get excited. Right. I'm like, why are you getting excited? Right. Because see, he got other intentions. I got to go back to make the amends with the people I got to make amends with. Right. I'm trying to go in on the straight and narrow. He's trying to but the teenager, he's looking at it as an opportunity. Right. You know, so I'm like, nah, I can't make amends. You know, because most of the people I'm trying to make amends with is extra. You know what? How I treated you really wasn't the best way. Right. But I get around there trying to make an amends and. But then, so I have to self-talk, right? Come on. One of the things I say is no game. No game. Now, if I just don't play no game, then I can stay out of trouble.
Somebody in here say no game. Louder than that. No game.
No game.
He's too busy trying to ask to drive. I ain't got time. You know, no game. So I can't make it, man.
Right. You know? Give him some love. Well,
very good. Yeah. Don't send it to nobody. Don't send it.
So now here go right here.
That's a good way to make it in.
Here go brother Esau. I mean, brother O'Shea right here. O'Shea ain't been here in 5 years or something like that. Couple more. But still on Tuesday, he know to come between these times, and there's gonna be a group going on. Now, I love that because consistency grants authority, and we have been faithful over this and consistent, and you understand your attendance, your presence makes his coming happen. So I just don't want you to ever underestimate your intelligence, your attendance. And the best time to come to group is the time when you really don't feel like it, and you're gonna always get blessed that time. But I'm gonna give O'Shea some minutes right here. Just kind of see what's going on with him. And I think he might have a little female in his life now, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I hope it slide over a little bit. Yeah. All right, go ahead. Yeah.
First of all, I want to say, hey everybody. It's been a while since I've been here. I popped in. You know how life goes, it's not an excuse, but that's my reasoning or excuse. But it's funny that I walk in here on the conversation of intent, because a couple months ago, intent saved me, saved somebody else. Wow. And it's important that we understand the difference. We understand what intent is before we react and respond to certain situations wrong.
Come on now.
So just to give you what happened, I was at a friend of mine got into an altercation somewhere. His dad called me. We head up to the hospital. We get to the hospital. I'm sitting there talking to his dad. And security is just me, but just staring at me, then you start whispering about it. Well, if you know me, you know darn well I'm gonna be like, what's up? You know, not necessarily being problematic, but what's up? You looking at me, you talking about me, what's up?
Right.
So he's talking and I asked him, like, what's up? You got a problem with me or something? Instantly, he jumps on this tough guy. And instantly I warned him, I'm not the person to do that with. You know what I'm saying? Like, find you something else to do, find you somebody else to bother. I'm not the one to do that with. He's tough Tony. He's talking to his partner and he's walking up on me and I warn him. It's not enough of y'all. You know? It's not enough of y'all because I'm still here, but I'm still there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I might be moving away from it. I try to stay away from it, but it's still there. I'm like, yeah, it's not enough of y'all, bro. Leave me alone. Find you a different battle. This ain't the one for you. So I understand his intentions after a while because we're standing there, we're talking, and his buddy put his hand on his little piece. Now, mind you, the security guard is the one that's being aggressive. I'm telling him, find something else to do. This ain't what you want. If anything, you should be calming your person down. So he puts his hand on this thing, and I walk right up on him, like, bro, if you pull that out, then I'm gonna have to show you what I'm talking about. And my kid's mom was there. She was like, just leave it alone and walk away. He's telling y'all he's cool. He's walking off. I get ready to walk off. Tough guy grabs me. Now, mind you, I'm walking off. He grabs me. Prompts his other guy to grab me. So now the intent part come in. I feel like he's intending to show me that he's the big dog, that he's running everything, right? That's your intention is not going to happen. So my intent and response was, I'm not going to allow you to do that, but I'm not going to try to prove that I'm the big dog either. So I simply just put them both down at the same time. Basically, I slammed both of them at the same time. And I'm holding them down and I'm talking to them. I told y'all, this is not what y'all want to do. Leave me alone. You know what I mean? Now, I could have been an aggressor. Could have went all in, but that wasn't my intent. When we're speaking about intent. Whatever his intent was, it's already shut down. You know, it's not going to work. The sheriff comes. I don't know. They're trying to get me off of him. The sheriff comes. So the sheriff gets some action too. Puts him up against the grass. Don't touch me. Leave me alone. Let me go. They say I'm resisting arrest, doing all of this, doing all of that. And I tell them, put your arms behind your back. I can't put my arms behind my back. I'm too big. If you stand me up, I'm trying to help them problem solve. If you stand me up, I will let you cuff me from the front. I'm too big for you to cuff me from the back, and I got a torn rotator cuff. They still trying to intend on proving that they're going to win in this situation. I'm steady trying to not let them win and me not go overboard. So finally they figured out they couldn't get me. So they said, okay, stand up. They stood up, cuffed me. I go to jail for a couple of days. Wow. You know, so my charges was 3 assaults. I had brass knuckles in my pocket because I worked under security. I had some, take stuff out people, dip out. I had brass knuckles on me and then obstructed justice. I decided to defend myself. I didn't want a public defender. I didn't want a lawyer because of that word. What's the word? Intent. I know in the court of law, we have to prove intent, or they have to prove intent. So I said, I'm going to defend myself. And I told them, let me talk to the prosecutor. And I told the prosecutor, when it comes to those assaults, my intent wasn't to assault them. This is exact words I used. My intent wasn't to assault them. My intent was to protect myself. You know what I mean? And to make sure I don't get hurt. If I had any other intentions, I would have went further and started punching on them, beating on them, doing whatever I had to do. I simply laid them down, held them down. And what about the sheriff? Well, the sheriff grabbed me in the middle of a hostile situation. I don't know who he is. My intent wasn't to do him, but my intent is to protect myself. So I argued my way out of those charges. Then you're obstructing justice. Again, I'm not obstructing justice. If you look at the cameras, I'm telling them I'm too big to put my arms behind me, and I have a torn rotator cuff. I'm not going to let you get me, put me in a situation where I know it's not going to work for me. My intent was to not obstruct justice. My intent, again, was to protect myself, and you couldn't argue it. I said, I'm willing to take you to trial. So, again, the conversation of intent, understanding intent. Now, if my intent would have been to cause harm, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys right now. But the fact that that wasn't my intent, and it proves that their intent was to be the aggressor, that's the reason why I'm sitting here talking to you now. And I understand his intent on trying to prove himself and trying to be the tough guy. And I knew me, and I knew I don't have to accept every fight work.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Give him a little love. Now, this is what, see, what shows me O'Shea, he need to be here more often. Because I know, right, because I trained them, I know that his verbal skills are far stronger than his physical skills. And that you could have just talked your way out of that whole thing if you took another approach. And so, but the trauma of your friend, whatever happened, I don't know what happened, that puts you on go. And then now, the hospitals are up here, they having, rival members of certain posses showing up at the hospital and continuing the mix. But we already know this. So they're wired. You get it? And right, they wired. And so then all O'Shea had to do was just say, I'm just here to support. I'm just here to support my friend, and this is what happened. And so, things good. Those are de-escalation. Say de-escalation.
De-escalation.
De-escalation tactics that you can use with your words. But when you yeast it up because of what happened, you don't want to do it. Now, let me finish.
But not in the fashion of what you say.
Good. And here's the thing. I just got to tell you the truth. What we were talking about earlier, it was mentioned that sometimes in the car, which is the self, sometimes the child wants to drive, and sometimes the teenager wants to drive, and sometimes who wants to drive. And so in these situations, you have to make sure to protect yourself that the adult is at the wheel. And even though it was trauma, and I'm telling you last night, man, that's last night, man. I'm talking about just last night. If we did not, I couldn't, I just have to just use de-escalation skills. Otherwise, we got a problem. You know what I mean? But I want you to give O'Shea some love because this dude, man, is so gifted in so many ways. I just appreciate that he found his way here, and we can just love on you and see you look upside your head. Right? In my very first class in 2005 in Faribault Prison, O'Shea was in my very first class. It was, I don't know how long ago 2005 was just right now, but it was a long time ago. 16 years ago. And so, it's just good for me to see you, man, and that know you're not locked up and that you are out here. And sound like you got a new lady friend or something like that. Are you serious?
Yeah, man. Severe subtractor and divider for so long, I forgot how to act. So right now, she's trying to be patient all around me.
Oh man, I like her. I already like her. What's her name?
Gigi.
Give Gigi some love up in here. I already like her. I know I'm keeping y'all after group time. But Lolita is on. She's been online, and I just want her to say hi to everybody. Lolita, can you this is Lolita right here, and she got some of her friends. She got Bella, Mike Fox's daughter, who's become his granddaughter, and somebody else. So Lolita, would you go ahead and holler at us real fast?
Hey everyone, it's good to hear all the wonderful feedback and all the wonderful stories. Everyone, I'm sitting here with my grandson and just listening and giving him. He's been to groups previous before, and just telling him about how he should become involved in computers. Because thank God for the pop group and my grandson that he always can open his mind up to the different things that we have to share.
Wow. That's good.
I hope to see you guys next week. I was doing my grandmother's chores today.
Right, right. Okay. Well, let's give Grandmama a little hand.
Yeah.
We love you. Lolita, you're doing such a fine job with Bella. I sure appreciate it. We're gonna pledge out of here just because it's late, and then O'Shea, we can talk after. And this is how we do it. We just circle up, and we have a little pledge here. Eddie, I hope that you got a sense for who we are and what we're doing here. Come on, brother. Freeman, you got to get them legs working, sir.
Yeah.
Come on, O'Shea, you got to get in here, sir.
All right.
Yeah, okay. Come on, Chef. Okay. Yeah. So we, you know what? We got a lot of, this is like two or three different groups. We got a lot of talking in because we were small tonight, but that felt so good. I appreciate everybody who's here. I will balance my family values. My goals. I will exercise wisdom. What I choose to eat. Read and do. I will strive to make all my relationships. Win-win. No deal. I will under every circumstance maintain a positive attitude. I will enjoy my life with a sense of humor while taking advantage of opportunities and learning from my misfortunes. Yeah, now this is for O'Shea. I want to go back to it. I will enjoy my life with a sense of humor while taking advantage of my opportunities but learning from my misfortune. I will act upon circumstances rather than have them act upon me. I will on a daily basis be proactive with my goals. I will always protect my wisdom, my health, my happiness. I will stay principle centered and maintain a positive circle of influence. I will daily learn. I will commit and do the things that I commit to. I will act according to the POP Leadership Institute. Be productive in my community and my private life. Stay right there, don't move. Now, for those of you who have children or grandchildren who will be going to school in the fall, we have donations of backpacks loaded up with supplies. And if you need that, and how many you need, stop by to Wayne on the way out and say, Wayne, I need this two backpacks, one backpack. You know, don't, if you don't have nobody, don't do it. But if it's somebody that's in your immediate family that you want to provide for, then do that. And then I'm gonna have them delivered in on next Tuesday. The backpacks will be here for you to take to your own family as a gift from the POP. All right? All right, now I want you to hug somebody and clean up this room. Thank you.
All right.